And thanks for leaving a comment, John. Hope you're doing well. John says, Grand Rising, the best fact-filled channel on the planet that is energized by the Logos. Thank you. Here are the jet streams of the eastern world. Here are the surface winds. And we see some strong winds here around the coast of Antarctica. How about the surface winds of the western world? There are those. Some strong winds off the southwest coast of South America as well. And here are the 250 hectopascal winds, which elicit the location of the jet streams. And you can see they are all over the place once again. We see S-shaped bends. We see the jet stream blowing north to south. We see it blowing south to north. It's quite chaotic. It's meridional jet stream flow at its finest. And we've got a long band of lightning across a large portion of the U.S. Very active regions here. Some severe storms, mainly across Arkansas right now, stretching all the way from practically from Dallas to Louisville here. And it's calmed down a little bit while we're making the video, but there you can see some thunder rolling in. Hey, Little Rock. Hey, Jonesboro. There's thunder rolling in. I use lightningmaps.org when I hear thunder. And we'll put up a little forecast for this here in a moment. First, let's talk about this insanity. I'll read a quote. More than 11,000 scientists from 153 countries have come together to warn that if we continue with business as usual, the result will be untold human suffering from climate change, Ripple said. We have listed 6 areas, including, get this, curbing population growth in the context of social justice as a framework for action. Curbing population growth in the context of social justice as a framework for action. Now, does that sound utterly insane to you? Yeah, it sounds utterly insane to me too. And by the way, the planet could probably support 10 billion people if resources were appropriately allocated. The problem on planet Earth is the allocation of resources, not the inability to support many, many more people in the population. It's nonsense that the planet can't support the current number of people that it has, and the anti-humanist agenda is pretty shocking and ridiculous. So here's a sharticle from phys.org's Earth section, which, by the way, this phys.org Earth section is rife with sharticles. We even have a video citing how full of sharticles. In fact, the phys.org Earth section prompted us to make a video called Terms Defined, the Sharticle, because they have so many sharticles. Socially just population policies can mitigate climate change and advance global equity. That is straight up nuts. What a pile of nonsense. What a surprise that it came out of the left coast from Oregon State University. What a pile of nonsense. Satellites show world's glaciers melting faster than ever as the disinformation campaign continues. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but CNN has stated that they're going to rebrand themselves from the COVIDiocy Net News Network to the Climate Nonsense Network. And this is cherry-picked data at its finest, folks, as we saw historic snowfall totals in the Northern Hemisphere for the last 4 winters consecutively. That's 2017 to 2018, 2018 to 2019, 2019 and 2020, and 2020 to 21. We saw record snowfall, 2 standard deviations above normal in terms of snow mass balance, not including mountains. Lots of snowfalls in mountains. Glaciers, are they really melting, folks? We've shown time and time again that Greenland has 5 meters of snow from coast to coast. And this looks like this doesn't pass the smell test to me. Continuing on, here is the GFS forecast for rain We're going to advance this to show folks how these systems are anticipated to move by the GFS forecast. Pay attention to the time and date stamps up there. I'm just rocking it back and forth a couple days here into Saturday. And that's from tropicaltidbits.com. Here are the current pressure cell situations. And I would like to take a moment to invite our viewers to visualize this in a different way. So if you're not familiar with atmospheric physics, think of it like this. Imagine if this whole area was a kiddie pool full of shallow water, and you pushed your hand on one of these high pressure zones, right? When you push your hand down, you create a high pressure zone in that part of the water. And what does this water do in order to reach equilibrium? What it does is it creates low pressure zones around here to equalize the pressure. This is the thing that's happening in the atmosphere, folks. The main input in the atmosphere is high pressure zones. And I understand that everybody's interested in low pressure zones as they're associated with storms and precipitation. But the understanding of the anticyclones, such as this one up here right at the North Pole, the input of high pressure zones and anticyclones seems to be vastly misunderstood, and I'll just leave it there. Understand high pressure as if you push down in the atmosphere surrounding that area needs to be low pressure in order to reach equilibrium. That's all I'll say about that. I'm just going to advance this into tomorrow. Here is the GFS forecast for pressure at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow. And if you're new here and wondering where we're located, SMASH staff and I are located right about there in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, something like 14 miles west of New Jersey. Here's a U.S. Doppler radar map, and you can see those heavy storms. And they're actually stretching all the way from just north of me all the way down to southern Texas. About a 1,700-mile long arm of storms there. Let's check it out in the cloud layer. Here's what's going on in the cloud layer. Here's the water vapor map. That should give you some more insight into the weather. So a lot of moisture there, especially over Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois. And it's taken its time moving, and it's because this dry mass of air that's behind it isn't really providing any input. So some hot temperatures and some evaporative processes going on there. And again, there's the Doppler radar. Cloud layer, 3.9 nanometers radiation map, by the way. And there is the water vapor map. That's today's meteorology segment. And we'll have to say goodbye to Twitch once again. Bye, Twitch.